Star Trek admits one of its godly aliens were accidentally made by a captain. Star Trek has always thrived on its ability to ask big questions about power, responsibility, and the consequences of human ambition. Over the decades, the franchise has introduced dozens of near-omnipotent aliens, entities who tour with starship crews as easily as humans shuffle cards. But rarely does the franchise point a finger at Starfleet itself for creating one of these godlike beings. Yet that's exactly what a recent Star Trek story reveals. One of the show's so-called godly aliens wasn't born in the stars or on some ancient world, but was, in fact, accidentally created by a Starfleet captain. This revelation reframes not only the alien's origin, but also Starfleet's role in the cosmic order. For a franchise so often built on cautionary tales of technological overreach, it's a story that feels both shocking and inevitable. It's as if Gene Roddenberry's ethos of exploration and moral self-reflection had come full circle, reminding us that the biggest monsters or miracles sometimes come from within. The tradition of godlike beings in Star Trek. From the earliest days of the original series, Star Trek has loved to pit its heroes against beings of unimaginable power. Q from the Next Generation may be the most famous, but he follows a long line of cosmic tricksters and moral judges. Trellin in The Squire of Gothos, the Organians in Errand of Mercy, and the Metrons in Arena all fit the bill. Alien entities who claim omnipotence, test humanity, and force Kirk and company to reflect on their own flaws. This tradition never disappeared. Deep Space Nine gave us the prophets, non-linear wormhole aliens worshipped as gods by the Bajorans. Voyager introduced the Caretaker, who had the power to strand the ship 70,000 light-years away. Discovery and Strange New Worlds have continued the trend, suggesting that in Star Trek's universe, cosmic power is just as common as warp drive. But Star Trek's godlike aliens have almost always been presented as naturally occurring, ancient species evolved beyond corporeal form or beings from higher planes of existence. The unspoken rule was that Starfleet might encounter such entities, but they'd never be responsible for creating one. Until now. A Starfleet captain's cosmic accident, in the story at hand first teased in tie-in material and now canonized on screen, we learned that one of these powerful aliens didn't simply appear from the ether. Instead, its origins trace back to a well-meaning Starfleet captain conducting a scientific experiment. The details are classic Trek: a remote outpost, experimental propulsion or matter manipulation technology, a crisis of conscience, and an unintended side effect that transforms a vulnerable lifeform, or even a human, into something far greater. It's very much in line with Star Trek's cautionary science tradition. Just as Gary Mitchell became a telekinetic powerhouse in TOS's where no man has gone before after a freak accident with the galactic barrier, this new revelation shows the same pattern on an even grander scale. But what makes it striking is that Starfleet now has to live with the fact that one of the most feared or revered entities in the quadrant exists because of them. For a franchise that prizes the Prime Directive, non-interference in other cultures, this is an ironic twist. Starfleet broke no explicit law here, but its scientific curiosity unleashed a being that now shapes the destinies of countless worlds. The ethical fallout. What does it mean for Starfleet to have created a god? In many ways, it's the ultimate test of the Federation's ideals. It's one thing to respect a naturally evolved omnipotent species. It's another to acknowledge your own culpability in creating one. Does the Federation owe this being a kind of parental responsibility? Can it even control or guide it anymore? Or must it treat its creation as an alien entity, no matter its origin? Star Trek thrives on such moral dilemmas. It's easy to imagine an Admiralty session debating whether to classify the being as a rogue Starfleet experiment, an emergent lifeform with rights, or a potential existential threat. The situation echoes classic sci-fi cautionary tales like Frankenstein or Forbidden Planet, where human ambition inadvertently births monsters. But because this is Star Trek, there's a twist of empathy. Even a godlike alien may be a victim rather than a villain, a mirror for humanity. What makes this revelation so effective is how it reflects the franchise's core themes. Star Trek has always been about the balance between exploration and restraint. Every captain, Kirk, Picard, Janeway, Sisko, has faced the temptation to push further, to risk more, to innovate faster. Usually, those risks produce positive outcomes, like new worlds or scientific breakthroughs. But sometimes they produce unintended consequences. By admitting that one of its godly aliens was created by a captain, Star Trek essentially dramatizes its own anxieties about the Federation's power. Even a utopian society can make mistakes. Even a Starfleet officer, bound by ethics and training, can unleash something that changes the galaxy forever. This revelation is less about condemning Starfleet than reminding viewers that power and responsibility are inseparable, especially when you're exploring the unknown, the future of godlike beings in Trek. This story also opens the door to fresh storytelling possibilities. If